Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. I am Graz, and welcome back for another review, this time on Faster Than Light, otherwise known as FTL. So, it's basically $9.99 on the Steam network, and it's a pretty fun game. It's a space strategy simulation, but I kind of think of it as space chess. What more is there to say? You basically go around, you hop on different nodes, sometimes you'll face combat, and sometimes, quite frankly, you won't face anything at all. Now, the one bad thing about it, if I can go back to the main menu, is that there's no multiplayer. And while, after playing the game, I kind of feel that it wasn't really necessary, some people may like to have a multiplayer facet to it. But, once you try it, you really could probably see where it's not really even required. This is just a great game that fills in some time. If you're waiting to go to school, or if you're waiting to go to an event, or basically anything that requires you to do something and you have a lot of downtime, this would be a great way to just go ahead and kill some time. What can I say? It's a fun little game, and for 10 bucks, I think you get pretty good value for it. It really does drum up some pretty sizable interest. So anyway, this is the ship layout, and when you first get the game, this is what you start off with. It's called the Kestrel, and you basically go around the whole wide universe just searching for a way to get past the rebels without being captured. You are a part of the Confederate, you hold Confederate secrets, and you cannot be captured, quite simply. So, you would go around and you face the possibility of unlocking these several different ships. Here is a list. As you can see, I've already unlocked one, the NG Cruiser. There's 9 total, and I've only have about 2. Now, as you travel along the whole universe, you have different types of events that could unfold. And if you find certain crew members that join your crew, you may risk the chance of actually getting a quest where you could eventually unfold getting one of these ships. It's pretty cool to say the least, and I'll try to include a link that will show you how to unlock all these different ships. But it's really neat that you can actually do this, and getting a little different change of scenery when you play the game is a really good thing. The NG Cruiser is fun. After playing the Kestrel Cruiser for a while, it just opens up a whole brand new experience. But if you haven't played the game before and you're not quite sure about what's going on, be sure to give the tutorial a shot. It basically gives you a great intro into the game, how it's done. It gives you a great description of what to expect. Your keyboard will be a control. Your ship is the Kestrel, and basically this is your main focus of the game. So basically, here is your engine's power right over here. Here is your here is your ship's abilities right here, as well as your subsystems that control what's going on over here as well. Here is your crew. Here's your crew list with all your crew members apparently listed, with health and other abilities that they do quite well. Here is your hull. Basically, once your hull reaches 0, the ship is done, your game is over. Scrap is your form of currency, and basically by destroying other ships and finding floating debris, that's how you'll basically get scrap. You'll use it to trade, repair your hull, and buy other things, basically. Your shields, and you start off with 1 shield. Basically, you can upgrade your ship shields through the ship menu with enough scrap, and the higher the shields, the more of a beating your ship can take. Quite simple as that. We have fuel, because after a while, each jump you do will require 1 fuel. So we have 16 fuel right now. While that's all well and good, once you run out of fuel and you haven't refueled at a trade station, then your game is over. Your ship will float indefinitely and you're boned. Missiles. Missiles may not seem like much, but if you have a missile system as part of your weapons system, you may be in a world of hurt, because if you rely on these missiles and you run out, all you're going to have is lasers, and lasers aren't exactly the most reliable, especially when you start running into ships that have a lot of shield. So if you use missiles, always remember to keep up on your missile supply. Don't blow all your scrap on it, because you're going to need to do other things, but yeah, you kind of get that sense of you're going to need at least some missiles. So, as you've seen with the ships, there are various different races. You start off as the human, but as you go along, you'll find Engi, you'll find light creatures, you'll find mantids, or whatever they're called. And you'll just find a lot of different races. Like here, we have the Engi with the Engi Cruiser. And they're kind of like cyborg-type races. They don't really get any type of human diseases, so you can send them into those type of events. Their ship has a droid, or a little type of... basically like a drone system, that's what it is. That's what I'm trying to say. They have a drone system. The human ship don't have it, but they do, and it's kind of neat. It makes things kind of interesting, to say the least. And each one has their own various different highs and lows. Okay, their ship is called the Taurus, but, you know, whatever. Gameplay is quite simple. You use the spacebar to go ahead and pause the game, unpauses it as well. I like to go ahead and put one person in my engine room, one person on missiles. Basically, once combat starts, I'd go ahead and take the guy out of the engine room and put him in shields. Basically, having someone in the engine room helps power up your jump. Having someone in the control room is a must in order for the jump to initiate. So we'll go ahead and initiate a jump. And you can see how I kind of call it Space Chest. Everything basically unfolds. So our first event, we've arrived in a sector and are greeted by a science vessel winged by the beacon. They hail you saying, "We find ourselves low on fuel and have a proposition." So if we give them 2 fuel, they'll give us 3 drone parts. Seeing how I have the Engi ship and I basically strive for drone parts, I'm just going to go ahead and do the trade anyway. So I lose 2 fuel, with as well as the 1 fuel that caused the jump. Now I have 13. Let's check out this distress beacon. Okay, so here we have our first event. The distress signal is coming from a small space station orbiting an uninhabited planet. Their satellite defense system has gone haywire and their repair crew can't approach it without being fired upon. They're looking for help to fix or disable it. Now, if you were human, you wouldn't have these 2 options right here. Well, the 1 option right here. The Engi crew can remotely repair the targeting system, which the human can't. Or since we have an ion weapon, we can disable the defense system, rendering it useless, and they can repair it. So we have 2 options right here that we can use that we normally wouldn't have. Perfect example of how you unlock other quests. So we can go ahead. See, I'm going to see if I can remotely repair it. And my crew member is able to remotely fix the glitch in the defense AI, allowing the repair crew to close in and finish the job. The station gives you its thanks along with a reward. We've gotten 3 fuel, which is great, 1 drone part, and 20 scrap. So that right there is a perfect example of how you can go ahead and unlock other things. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump again. And as you can see, when you pull up the map, you'll get things like distress, you'll get things like store, and otherwise as you go along. So here, nothing really pretty much is going on. You'll receive a request. All of our military ships have been destroyed or damaged during the rebellion. However, there have been reports of a Mantis war camp only a few jumps from us. Can you help? Okay, well, so we'll go ahead and give them a hand. They'll give us 15 scrap if we successfully help them. Well, they give it to us now. And here is the quest area we have to go to take out the Mantis warship. Okay, we found it, but there's not much we can do because we don't have a lot of weapons. So, well, that is sad to say the least. Uh-oh. Looks like we were spotted as we were trying to leave, so let's go ahead and initiate combat. The most effective way I found to do this is by pausing the game and getting everyone in set position. So I'll have one guy go to our shields, one guy on weapons. He's going to initiate our ion blaster. Blaster's going to take out their shields. And I'll have my drone come in, my anti-ship drone come in and try to take them out. I'll unpause it and have everything take place. Hopefully at some point we can take out their weapon system because it may become a problem. We've now rendered their shields pointless. They've kind of taken out our sensor system, but that's not a problem. And this is pretty much the whole basis of combat. I'm going to go ahead and go with auto fire. I want to go ahead and take out their shields again. I totally forgot about that. I'm so used to auto fire, it's not even funny. I always turn on auto fire because I just set the target and forget about it, unless I want to focus on something else. So now I'm going to take some extra damage because I forgot about it. I didn't keep up on their shields, but as you can see, their ship is almost done anyway, so their hull is dead. They are rendered moot, and we get 13 scrap, 1 drone part, and 3 fuel from it. All in all, it's a fun little game. It's got a lot going for it, and for a review, I give it 4 out of 5. Basically, it's very entertaining, it's a great time killer, and what more needs to be said? For a little pro tip, if you want to go ahead, if you have a problem with people boarding your ship, because sometimes you can have an event where a ship comes up and they'll teleport people to your ship, or just out of nowhere, raiders will come on board and start attacking you. Oh look, we helped these guys out and they gave me a halberd beam. How awesome is that? So if you have a problem with that, basically what I would recommend for you to do is either fight in the med bay or get all your members in the med bay and open your lock doors, which are right here. Once you open these, it's going to suck out all the energy, it's going to suck out all the oxygen, excuse me, and it will start suffocating the invader. So you'll be forcing them to fight in your med bay, which will in turn help you kill the invaders. So anyway, that's going to do it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Leave comments, questions, or suggestions down below in the comment area. I would love to hear from you. I hope you have a wonderful day. If not, then just simply fake it. Please be sure to join us again next time for another review. I'll see you again next time.